I have it in Can I have that?
Good morning, Richland County. It is 9:30 a.m. on a rainy Thursday, August 24th. Richland County Board of Commissioners is now in session. I'm County Commissioner Cliff Mears, joined by fellow Commissioner Bill Banks. Commissioner Tony Bureau is out today. Our clerk Stacey Kroll is here, County Minister Andrew Keller, and we're joined by three of our good friends at JFS and Workforce, Lori Bedson, Clint Knight, and Cindy Truex. And with the media we have online, Carl and Al. With that, our first order of business is to discuss some candidates you have at JFS, Lori. So did you want to recap that or?
Yes. We had put out a continuous posting for eligibility referral specialist 2, which is our caseworker position, and for unit support worker 2, which is our reception and supportive services. And we have 2 candidates that we interviewed, one for the eligibility referral specialist 2 position and one for the unit support worker 2 position that I would like to get your approval to offer employment. The eligibility referral specialist position, Christy Marksberry. She is currently an eligibility referral specialist at Ashland County JFS. So she knows the job, can come in and really hit the ground running. And then Jenna Meister, who is a unit support, or actually her title is clerical specialist at Ashland County Job and Family Services. And that's a similar position to our unit support worker. She too could come in and just basically start the job and know what she's doing.
And Jenna would be at $15.32 an hour.
Yes, as the unit support worker currently, yes. And then Christy would be at $17.51. The starting wage for the eligibility referral specialist. The eligibility referral specialist has a 9-month probation period. And then the unit support worker has a 4-month probation period. Again, because they already know the job, we can sometimes adjust that a little bit. The probationary period stays the same, but their training is a little different because they already basically know the job. So
Sounds like some good choices.
it does. I'm trying to say that we're taking some people from Ashland.
I was wondering if it's safe for me to go over that.
I don't know.
Can I have a motion to approve?
I so move.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Next, we move into workforce development. Clint, did you want to be the spokesperson for this? Potential agreements here?
Here, do you want? That's the order I put in, if you want.
The first one, I got to say this, sub-recipient agreement, the heading of recitals. I thought this started with maybe you and your taken here. It's a kind of recital.
No, so the sub-recipient agreement is with JFS as the fiscal agent for the WIOA board. This first sub-grant agreement allows the disbursement of those funds, TANF funds, through sub-grant partners.
The wheel.
The WIOA funds to the sub-grant partners. Anything else we need to add to that?
This is a sub-award that comes through the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services that gives the workforce board and our agency as the fiscal agent the authority to disperse those funds to Crawford County, and so then Richland County, the adult and dislocated worker and funds that we disperse or utilize.
I know Stacy and I were looking for the term on this agreement and it took some looking and I don't seem to see it now, but I know we found it.
It was 2 years.
Yes.
July 1, if I remember right.
Yes, I mean, these are late coming out from the state. Again, we understand that the budget issue caused some of this, and then there have just been some changes at the state level. So we just received the sub award. So yes, it does go back to July 1. that's when we officially receive the funding.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
the second subrecipient agreement for Richland County. Should we consider these together? Obviously, they're separate geographically, basically the same agreement, like, correct?
One is a subaward agreement that we as the fiscal agent and you as the board of commissioners and Richland have to authorize us as the fiscal agent to now disperse the money that comes into the area as a whole to Richland County to use for adult and dislocated worker services that we provide through the Richland County Job and Family Services. So this is just a technicality for us as the fiscal agent for the local area to then funnel that money down to our agency, Richland County Job and Family Services, to use for WIOA adult and dislocated worker services.
And obviously this has to be approved by the Crawford County people.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve this sub agreement, sub recipient.
Richland County alone,
I can only do it.
Just for
County.
Richland for now.
just Richland.
Do them
Okay,
separate.
I'll second that then.
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Subrecipient agreement for Crawford County.
Is similar. That allows the fiscal agent, Richland County Job and Family Services, as the fiscal agent to then disperse the adult dislocated worker and youth WIOA funding to Crawford County to utilize.
Can do approve.
So move.
Second,
Commissioner Mears,
yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
I notice on the Richland County agreement that we just approved that there's a blank for the amount award for youth activities, but that takes us to the next contract, which is Catalyst.
Correct. Crawford County chooses to operate its youth program in-house through their JFS. We choose to competitively bid that funding out to an entity. And we are in the last year of our rollover for that bidding that took place in 2021 for the program year that started 2021 through 2022. So this will be the last time we can roll over without going through that bid process. But this would allow us as, again, the fiscal agent to pass those youth dollars that come to Richland County on to Catalyst Life Services to provide the youth services for our WIOA program.
That organization does fine work,
I'll make the motion. We do that.
and I'll second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes,
Commissioner Banks.
we have requests to add and remove or withdraw names from the local area 10 workforce investment board. Did you want to summarize?
Sure.
Clint?
So the first that you have listed on the agenda there is with the IBEW. We have a labor organization requirement, have a representation. Carl Nutzling has been that representative on behalf of the IBEW for better part of 20 years. And he retired July. So Brian McPeak is replacing him in his role at the IBEW and has been nominated to replace him on our workforce board. So that the board has voted to make that recommendation and to you as the commissioners to vote and approve on Brian replacing Carl.
And it's my understanding that is this one of those that we have, our commissioners as well as the Crawford County commissioners both have to approve.
Correct.
Yep,
Okay.
all three. You can talk about the other two also.
Yes.
You can do that all in one motion.
Yes.
So there are two others. The second one, Jeff DeVito is resigning from his seat on the workforce board. And we are replacing Jeff with, I believe,
Ben,
I can't remember which one,
Hoffman.
which form.
You have the forms, don't you?
yeah,
There's two, is Ben Blueball's replacing Jeff?
yes,
Okay, sorry, I couldn't remember which one of them,
yeah.
Mr. Bishop or Ben. So Ben Bluebaugh is replacing, taking that seat. Ben is in Crawford County. So that would give us more equal representation in Crawford County as well.
Okay, and Ben is the pattern division plant manager, Colbert.
Yes.
See.
Correct.
Then you have one more appointment.
Yes, and then Paul Bishop at Timken is coming on the board. That will be a new addition to the board in our effort to get more representation from Crawford County participating in the board.
Is the plant manager out there before? I have a motion to,
I'll make the motion and I'll make a comment that many thanks to Carl, his efforts. Working with him the last 7 years. I think Carl's done a good job and he'll be missed, but I also met the man that's replacing him. So I'm sure it'll continue.
I've had the opportunity to work with Carl on several boards. He's still on the transit board, by the way. So we'll still be working with him at some level, just on a different capacity.
Glad to have him for 20 years. That's remarkable.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
and I'll second that motion.
For Mears. For Banks.
Yes.
Okay, this is what we have for you folks, is that correct? Anything new? Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, Carl, do you have any questions for our friends here?
No, just interesting to hear the news and watching the floodwaters rise out there. So everybody stay dry and take an umbrella. It's going to rain a while.
Yeah, I was just saying that I was sweeping water out of my basement at 1:30 this morning, so coming down pretty hard, or at least it did for a while.
And I think it's going to stop late morning, but tonight looks a little wet again, and keeping an eye on the rain gauges on the rivers.
If I can't get home, Carl, give me a call.
Well, water's rising down at Belleville by the bridge there, Daryl, so be careful.
I noticed that on the way up here this morning.
God bless the internet.
Hey, Al, do you have any questions here?
No, I don't. We've been dry where I'm at since like late yesterday afternoon, so.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See y'all. Okay.
Well, I still need at least one more.
So we'll get that form edited, so there's more space.
Great.
Oh,
Once I get all their signatures, I'll make sure you get everything.
Yesterday, Tim just signed it as the chair,
Okay.
commissioners, so.
My board doesn't like to do that. So.
You want me to edit it and send it back to you so they can all sign it? Now,
If you want, if not, I mean, I put my stamp on them. But, yeah, we can do that if they don't care.
well, actually, we already have.
They already have their board, his
I have to
signature,
bring,
so,
I have to bring those back over to you.
yeah. Or since he signed them, just give me the ones that he signed and then we can put our signatures. And then we'll modify it for the next time.
I'll get those back to you.
Okay.
and we had them sign 3 signature pages just because Crawford wants a copy. I need an original and I didn't need somebody else wanted one. So.
All right, we'll get them all signed. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see all of you.
Have an umbrella behind the door there if you need one.
I'm sorry.
We have umbrellas behind.
I got
Now
one.
that it looks like you've dried out a bit. Okay, moving on to the other agenda items. Could I have a motion to certify the record of proceedings for August 22nd?
Yes.
Second.
For Mears? For Banks?
Yes.
Have a motion to approve requisitions.
Yes.
Second.
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
I have a motion to authorize the advertising for the clerk of courts relocation project.
I will move. We advertise that as soon as possible.
Second that motion.
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
We have before us a service agreement for our approval with Maximus for indirect cost study. And this is an organization we've used for years. The rate bumped up a little bit from 13,500 to 13,750. Can do approve.
So move.
Oh, second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Banks.
Yes.
Next item is to review the annexation to the of Belleville, a request for an extension. I guess I can recap what's going on here, unless you'd like to do
I'll
that.
go right ahead.
Okay, so petition of annexation was filed on the 13th of July by William Normoff for the petitioner of City Church for 14.828 acres from Jefferson Township to the village of Belleville. Proof of service to the township, village, and abutting property owners was received on July 26th. Within 20 days of the filing of the application, which was August 2nd, the village should have filed with the Board of Commissioners a municipal statement of service to be provided and a statement of incompatible land use and zoning buffer. Those statements have not been received. The township and village have the opportunity to file a statement of consenting or objecting to the petition with 25 days of filing, which was August 7th, 2023, and nothing has been received from either entity. But the village of Belleville did not have a quorum at their August meeting to approve the required ordinance and statements. It's scheduled for their next meeting, which is September 5th. William Normoff, again, who's the agent for City Church, on August 21st requested and consented to an extension of the deadline of the petition to give Belleville additional time to take necessary action. But we don't need to make any motions on that, but we've reviewed the annexation and the process. Is that sufficient? Andrew?
Would make a motion to grant an extension of time.
Okay.
And I would think. Maybe what do you say, a 20-day extension that.
Well, it should have been August 7th. Was that my first date?
Well, that was 25 days.
Within 20 days of filing was August 2nd.
So technically I should have had him by August 2nd.
45 days from the date of filing is the
Oh.
drop dead. So it'd be,
Okay, so they had till August 7th, it looks like.
well, what's 45 days from July 13th?
That would be 30. Now that would still be in August.
But yeah, that's still in August.
That's still,
September. Just done in my head, so check it out.
Well, if it's September 6th, and if you're right, their meeting is scheduled for September 5th, which would be the following day.
Well, 45 days from July 13th would still be in August, right?
that'd be August 27th.
That's the August 27th is the deadline, but because the village isn't meeting until September, we need to grant an extension. 15-day extension would be fine. And that would give the village all the time they need to meet and get us what we need. So
15-day extension would take us to what date?
from August 27th, 15 days. September 11th.
13th,
The 11th.
11th. Motion to grant an extension until September 11th.
I'll make that motion and get a hold of the mayor and let her know what's going on.
Second?
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
And we do have one additional late item.
The transfers and appropriations.
She did. I made a note of that.
You skipped the transfers and
I
appropriations.
did?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry.
While we're still on the subject of the annexation. We'll need to receive that promptly from the village because September 7th would be our only regularly scheduled meeting. We'd be able to then consider review and.
Okay.
Okay,
So it has to be up here.
They can
for
email.
September 7th.
Yeah.
They can email it.
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Okay. Did we vote on then the transfers and appropriations?
We have not.
Okay, you made the motion?
I-
Then I'll
If I
second.
didn't, I will.
I'll second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I skipped over that. Anyway, the one last late item we have is to separate or terminate STNA at Dayspring, who basically not shown up and has not shown good work performance. Effective date would be August 24th for this individual. Could I have a motion to terminate this person?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Any other business to come before the Board of Commissioners today? What do you think, Carl? Any questions?
If you could, just real quick, the advertising for the clerk of courts relocation project, where's that project at right now and what exactly did you do today? And well, I guess I'm looking for kind of a status update on that move.
Well, Carl, we're expecting everything from the architect, the engineer, architects to be here sometime today. And we want to, if everything's in order, we want to get this advertised as soon as we can. Therefore, since we're not having any meetings next week, we decided that we could get it out to advertising as quickly as we can.
Carl, the architect has promised to have the complete construction bid package ready to go by the end of this week. So by taking action today, we'll be prepared to advertise as soon as next week. Assuming everything is in order and no further adjustments are necessary, which means we're at the end of the final design phase on this project.
And if it's not in order, we will not advertise it. We'll get it in order.
Well, and Andrew, in terms of what this final design looks like, what exactly, and I guess it's been a while since I thought about this particular project, kind of catch us up on what exactly this final design entails, and are there any price tags attached to it that we can talk about?
Well, the price tag will be forthcoming because we're going to have an estimated total cost of construction in the bid package. And that'll be, of course, public record and publicly advertised. I don't have that number at this moment just because he may make some final adjustments to it. But it'll be forthcoming. The project itself, we're calling it the clerk of courts relocation and conference space. So floor L2, which is immediately below the first floor of the county administration building, housed, the old county jail. You've probably maybe been down there, Carl, perhaps a number of times, not.
Are you saying Carl's been in the jail several times?
I put in some time down there, Carl. No, I'm just kidding. But we've used the county jail space for storage. And anyway, in more recent time, we've demoed the old county jail space on L2. And the clerk of court space, which is presently on the second floor, is going to move down there. That includes offices. It includes space for storage for the public and customers. And then we're also going to be locating a large conference room space independent of the clerk's office on L2 that'll be available for other county operations. The prosecutor's office will conduct grand jury proceedings in this conference space. And as soon, Carl, as we have that the final design documents put together, we'd be happy to get them to you to take a closer look.
Okay, now this design package, is there a timeline on when you'd like to have that move done? And then the next step, building the new courtroom for the judges?
Yeah, I mean, what we want is as soon as possible. We're frequently reminded by our design team that what we want is will be tempered by what can be done with supply chain shortages and the congested economy right now in the construction space. But we certainly hope to be able to move into the L2 space in the first half of next year. I'd like it to be earlier than that, but we just don't know at this point. And then obviously we can't really begin retrofitting the clerk's office on the second floor until they've completely vacated their space and moved into L2. So that will necessarily be, will follow.
Who is doing the design phase? Which contractor or architect is doing this?
The commissioners retained MAD Studio. Brad Maurer is the name of the architect, the lead architect in the firm. MAD Studio.
Okay, yeah, I just found that story that I did back in August that says that. So thank you very much.
Carl, there's just one thing to add is where the conference room and where the prosecutor will have the grand jury. We are adding a couple small rooms, which will be for witnesses, which will be a much better situation than they have right now. So that's just a minor thing. And then there will be public restrooms be fitted down there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Al, do you have any questions on any this morning's proceedings?
Carl asked most of them. I'll try to push one of his questions a little further. Do you have, I know you don't have a specific figure for the project yet, but do you have a ballpark figure?
Too much.
It's a 7-figure project, Al, I can tell you that.
Okay. 7-figure close to what? 1 million, 2 million?
Closer to 2 million, plus or minus.
I mean, I can write it saying, initial estimates have been or something like that, showing that, that's not a figure.
I'm comfortable to be able to tell Al, you and Carl that we expect the estimated total cost to be a little in excess of $2 million.
Okay, when you put it that way, it sounds like is this whole project going to include some new furniture and stuff too?
It sure is, although a lot of the office furniture for the clerk's office will be purchased separately outside of the prime construction contract. But we are looking at a complete new inventory of office furniture for the clerk's office.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. So it is 9:59, and in 1 minute, we were going to be going into executive session. So Kelly Christensen was here or stepped out. We'll take a minute or two recess, and then we'll get into executive session to discuss employment of a public individual. And for the sake of the media, there's no immediate action expected at the aftermath of the executive session. Oh, now that it's 10 o'clock, advertised, I have a motion to go into executive session.
Sure, I'll make that motion.
I'll be sure to second it.
Here's
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Richland County Board of Commissioners is now out of executive session. There's no action to be taken at this time. At 11:03, Richland County Board of Commissioners stands adjourned.